Okay, let's start the lab for the HTTPS redirect using the Let's Encrypt function in your JKE. Start with setting up and then download the source code from the repository and then configure our endpoint and so on. So we start the lab. Wait for provisioning. Within 1 hour, hopefully we can complete. Okay, let's see what we need to do. This lab you will do this. Okay, deploy a containerized web application which is not using UVM, using containerization or container. Then we will setting up the engine ingress. This is one of the rules, okay, for your engine web server, the lightweight web server, and then you will install the certification manager into your cluster to automate the SSL certification and deploy and modify the ingress view data as enabled. Last time during the physical face-to-face, we did not using cloud. We are using uh, Linux. Okay, inside the Ubuntu, we need to set up this HTTPS, okay, or TLS inside our web server. But today, to make your life easier, we will using the available resources in cloud. Okay, let's type as usual. Just to check your authentication list. Enable the cloud shell. Authorize your cloud shell. Then check list of the project. Okay, see same project. This project. Okay. Next, you will download first the source code from the repository. It's compressed. Okay, compress source code, and then unpack or uncompress it. You can see it's inside JKE TLS lab. Okay, go inside the folder. Now we are inside, right? Okay, correct. Next, configure your endpoint. Allocate a static IP. Okay, created. Okay. Okay, let's see what we need to do. Okay, we list the address, IP address that we created. Yes, you see this is the IP address. You can take note copy and put it in your notepad. Okay, and then check your progress. Yes, already allocated 15% completion. And then you need to launch the shellcode editor. Shellcode editor. Open the editor here. Right, this is the editor. So you will see your source code that you have downloaded from this repository. Give a minute in order GCP to provision. Okay, this is your cloud shell. Same thing here. Actually, inside your machine, same folder. You see inside the JKE lab, you can see YAML file from OpenAPI service certificate and so on. So we can start to look at the IP, right? So in the left pane in the code editor, navigate your OpenAPI.yaml, right? So from this code, you can find the project name and also the IP. Copy your project ID and replace with the my project or your IP, static IP, replace with the IP that you copy from the previous output. Okay, this one my static IP. Take it from here. Then go through. We don't have the client ID yet. Okay, so okay, where is the project? Okay, this one my project. Okay, copy your project from here, project ID, and change it. And then you need to save the file. If you did not save, it's not applied. Okay, then you save already. See IP and project ID. Grab. Okay, my project here. My project, so need to change. Save one time. Okay, you see here, then you can deploy. Open terminal again and deploy your Open API. This is your cloud shell. This is your see, deploy Open API. Okay, because you need to go back to the folder inside the folder. Because without, if you are outside, it cannot recognize your code. Okay, your command. You need to wait for minutes for sync to sync the operation. At the same time, you can go back to your cloud shell and open the file again. This one now, right? This is inside your GKE lab. You can see the configuration file. Actually, Open API currently are on demand. Most of the company also using open API, especially to enable a lot of uh, features inside the application. Payment gateway, they got also other reusable code, right? So open API become common part. And then you need to learn about the Git also if you are interested to become a developer currently in cloud-based or DevOps or DevSecOps. You need to know about the Git and also other cloud platform as a service. Okay, we're just waiting for them to synchronize the things. Okay, now operation finished successfully. This command describe operation details. You can run this command if you want to look at the details of the instruction. This means already recognize, okay, your ID, project ID, and also uh, IP, your static IP address. Because we did not deploy the virtual machine, we deploy the container lightweight. Okay, just waiting for the operation complete. Okay, we continue back. You see what we have done here. Now we create a Kubernetes engine cluster. Okay, you see it, you put here your port address range can accommodate at most 1008 nodes. So we can deploy many nodes so that if you want to scalable, right, scale in, scale out the nodes, you can do it. You can set support. Now we create cluster. Then what we need to do? Okay, this may take a few minutes to complete. Okay, just wait, and then we'll authenticate credential for the cluster itself. So you see the command cluster contain cluster get credential in the zone. Okay, that zone. After that, we will set up a role-based access control. This is a part of access control, right? We discussed last time RBAC part of it, and then in cloud they are moving, okay, for ABAC, attribute based access control. Okay, let's see completed or not. Still working. Just wait. Take your time. Now cluster is being health checked. So having the monitoring to check the health of the cluster in terms of the software and hardware. Okay, let's see. After this, we will authenticate. Okay, now we see the complete, then continue with the credential part. Think up. Okay. Now you see fetching cluster Kubernetes config entry generated for your cluster. Okay, what is it? Next, we set the role-based access control. Is it? Okay, this one different. cluster admin binding created. Check your progress. Please set up cluster binding permission. Yes, we already set it up, right? Created already. Okay. Take some time to recognize. Okay. Then add our repository Helm. Helm is a Kubernetes package manager that helps you manage Kubernetes application that we'll use in the lab to install our engine ingress. Okay. Then update repository. Now we install the engine, but you need to replace with your static IP here. Please make sure you replace with your static IP. Okay, you see here, engine control has been installed. Take a few minutes to load balance IP to be available. So if you have this multiple container inside your multiple cluster, the load balancer will work for it. Will balance the workload for each of the cluster, the container, right? Okay, complete. Next, we deploy real world apps. Okay, you see your config yum file contain the environment variable used by the cloud. So in the code editor, navigate to config yum. Okay, config map. Okay, you go to another file. Okay, open another file. Config map. Okay, config map yum. Okay, just replace your the project with your project ID. Is it correct? Copy one more time and replace it. And then don't forget to save to make it permanent. Now you can deploy your web cluster. But make sure your Google shell still inside the GKE lab. Now you see config map, environment, and variable created. Also the deployment part. Okay, deployment.yum should be run as well. Apply it. And then now we need to expose our deployment. We are going to expose our web apps by first attaching a node pod service by running this command service.yum. You see all the file inside your GKE TLS lab been applied, each of it having their own purpose. Now we update in the code editor, navigate the ingress yum and replace also with your project ID. Okay, open ingress, is it correct? Ingress yum. Ingress mean your inbound lah. Your inbound traffic. Same concept in your firewall. You will manage your ingress and egress, right? This is for application level security. Don't forget to save. You see, when you apply this command, this might take 5 to 10 minutes for ingress to be properly provisioned. This is in cloud, but when if you are running it in your own environment, maybe it take more time. It's still warning, right? But the window, the version. With your project ID. You see your hello world has been deployed here. Whose name? Yeah, this is. Just copy this. Okay, copy this URL and replace with your project ID and put it or paste it in your browser. Then you can see output like this. Hello world, your version 1.0, your host name listed there. Okay. That's for the deployment. This means I already deployed my web application using Engine Web Server, and then I allow also port 80 to be active, to be receive the ingress. Okay. Now to configure the web apps using HTTPS. Currently we are using on this HTTP. That means no encryption, no TLS inside, right? Not yet encrypt. Now we want to setting up the HTTPS. So we will install Cert Manager or Certification Manager and configure Let's Encrypt as our certificate issuer to obtain a browser trusted TLS. TLS here actually transport layer security. Okay, in layer 3 and above. Okay. Now we will use our Helm to install Cert Manager. Just running this command. You are lucky because all the command given to you. Don't worry about the warning. Okay. Warning still okay, but if error, that means you need to redo. You see here all the IO input. Okay, created. Now we create our namespace for certification manager. Created as well. Add jet stack. Jet stack have been added to our repository, and then we update our repository. Stable chart repository update. Then install the cert manager. It's warning lah. It's because we are using different version. That they will update for us. Now deploy successfully. Although they got warning, don't issue, no issue. Have been deployed. See, in order to begin issuing certificate, you will need to set up a cluster issuer or issuer source. Okay, let's see what we need to do next. And verify that manager was installed by running this command. Deploy here. You see the status, all three, right? 111. That's mean already created. So if 01, you can still wait another second, 10 seconds for example, then run again. You will see 1 out of 1. And then run the following command, the code shell, to set it up your email address as environment variable. Reflect your quick lab ID with the username found in the connection detail panel, right? Your quick lab ID here, username. Okay. Export email ID. So not quick lab lah. This is my email I'm using, not this ID. This is your username, right? Okay, is it correct? My yes, correct. Then I will deploy Let's Encryptor issuer to issue TLS certificate. Deploy the issuer manifest using this following command. Okay, you can see again. Okay, that's in staging and prod created. Then you can check your setup. Is it successfully or not? Okay, wait a minute. Okay, take a few minutes for cert manager to fully install. If you see error, wait a few minutes. Okay, this one created, installed already, but here just set back. It's okay lah. Just wait for it to recognize. Okay, progress. In the left pane, in the code editor, we need navigate the certificate.yum. Open your certificate.yum. You can see here your project, right? Okay, your project here need to be replaced 3 parts. Copy and replace with your project ID. Then make sure you save the file. Please consider your configuration file, yum file. Now we reconfigure our existing ingress with TLS. This is done by deploying the ingress modified version ingress.yum, which ingress TLS. Yeah. Okay, you see, just one more time, you change the project ID. Correct. This one yum TLS. Yum TLS. Open the file. You got two, right? Ingress and ingress TLS. Okay. Replace the project ID. It's part 2 and save. Next is apply the changes. You see here, to check back the configuration, created update successfully. Okay, good. Now one more time we see the address but with HTTPS. Okay, your URL you see not secure. Maybe I make it smaller, then I can replace. Okay, like this. Okay, first one API.endpoint without HTTPS, and now we change it with the HTTPS. Project ID. Oops, sorry. One more time. Okay, replace with this project ID. Make sure it's in the right part. Don't delete any symbol there. Now you see we are using HTTPS. The difference previously insecure, right? But now you see the log here. Although the same output, but you deploy in different environment, protected and unprotected. This one, you see HTTPS already there. Connection is secure. Previously insecure, right? Certificate is valid. You see here. The difference between HTTPS and TLS. You can check the traffic if you open it in your browser, right? Using previous unprotected one. You can check using your Wireshark. If you want, you can see the encrypted and unencrypted one. Okay, see the HTTPS here. So complete already. So we can proceed with other lab. Okay, thank you.